Good morning, students. Am I audible?
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
बाकी बच्चे कहाँ हैं? अभी सिर्फ 11 क्यों दिख रहे हैं मुझे? आपकी कोई क्लास हो रही है थी क्या इससे पहले? Was there some class going on?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
had a
Presentation.
Okay, fine. Okay, I guess we can start in meanwhile because students are still joining, right? So, virology, the course content we have already completed, the syllabus is done. So, last week also I told you that we'll start revising. Maybe one day we'll take up a revision session. One day we'll make and pick up some other interesting topic, and Friday we already have for discussion, right? So, in the meanwhile, you all also can just go through the content and see if there's something which you feel that we should pick up that topic, so we can especially take up that topic first. And also the viva of the practical is remaining, so that we can take up in the practical class only, right? Not in the theory class. So let's see if all are joined. Yet still there are 17. Okay, so we can join, start in them. So thought we'll take up the first starting lecture about viruses, bacteria, and fungi. So that was the in the beginning we took this lecture, and we discussed about what are the differences between the fungus, viruses, and bacteria as pathogen. And then, if time is there, we can just revise quickly the classification, taxonomy, and the nomenclature also, right? So, okay, still not joined all the students. Vanshika, I thought Vanshika will join. It will be helpful for her because she has missed many classes. Maybe we'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes and then we can start, right? So, about pathogens, we all know that what is pathogen, what any disease causing organism is known as a pathogen, or any organism which could be the virus, bacteria, or fungi, which is capable of causing disease in human, plants, or animals. So they are known as a pathogen, right? So disease also, if we talk about a disease is any abnormal condition, right? When our body is not functioning properly, there are some signs and symptoms that we are not fine. Could be in the form of a fever, or could be you're not feeling well, you have a fever, you have a cold, you have a cough, you have some body aches, right? So that shows that it could be some problem, it could be due to some pathogen, it could be viral or a bacterial, due to some bacteria, right? So we know that these symptoms shows us and tell us that yes, we are not well, and we know when to see a doctor, right? Similarly, there are different kind of signs and symptoms which are shown in the plants due to the virus, fungus, or bacteria. So, on the basis of those symptoms, we try to go for some diagnostics, and then we see that what kind of a pathogen is affecting a particular plant, right? So, when we talk about different pathogen, bacteria, for example, bacteria are also pathogen which cause disease, but there is a lot of difference between bacteria and a fungus and a bacteria virus, right? The first major difference is in the form of a size, right? Viruses are very small. They are very small. They are measured in a nanometer. They cannot be seen by naked eyes. We need to use an electron microscope to see them, whereas bacteria can be seen under the light microscope also. And similarly, fungal spores can be visualized under a light microscope. We can see their spores and a mycelium, right? Whereas viruses cannot be seen. And another major difference is that viruses cannot be cultured or grown on artificial media, like unlike bacteria and fungus, right? Both bacteria and fungi or fungus we can grow on artificial media, and we can culture them, whereas for viruses we need a live host. So for a animal or a human viruses, virus cell culture is one technique where we can use a different cell lines also to grow them or cultivate them, whereas in plants we need to inoculate them on the live host plant, and then we need to see check for the symptoms and other things, right? So we know that bacteria are the prokaryotes. They are the smallest, they are the simplest and most ancient cells. the free floating genetic material. So these microscopic single-celled organism they have a different shapes. They can be rod shapes, they can be spiral or a spherical in shape. Then again, there are two type of bacteria, gram-negative and a gram-positive bacteria, right? So how does gram-positive and a gram-negative bacteria differ? They differ due to the presence of outer extra membrane in a gram-negative bacteria, right? So why there is extra outer membrane? So this is an extra line of defense that makes it harder for antibiotics to penetrate. So that's why the gram-negative bacteria, they are more difficult to kill and they are more prone to developing resistance also as compared to gram-positive one. So they are found everywhere. Bacteria are found in a hot water spring also. They are found in the cold deserts also. They are found in the plant. They are found in the root system. There are a number of bacteria. There are a number of beneficial bacteria also, and there are a number of harmful bacteria also, right? Beneficial are nitrogen fixing bacteria, which fix the atmospheric nitrogen in the plants, right? So it acts as a fertilizer in the plant. Then thermophilic bacteria, they fix sulfur to produce sulfide and energy for photosynthesis in aquatic sediments or organically rich water. So similarly, there are many fungi which have positive points also, which can be utilized. For example, the fungi or fungus, they provide us the antibiotics, right? They are useful for us. Yes, they cause the diseases in plants and humans, but then there is some useful parts. For example, yeast is used in many fermenting or fermentation food industries or food products. It is being used, right? So they have a positive point and they have a negative points as well. Similarly, when we talk about uh, viruses, they do have some, that means we can utilize them for our own benefit. For example, the viruses, they cause some variegated diseases or variegated symptoms in the plant. So those variegated plants can be used for ornamental plants for decoration purposes. So they are the point there that we can use them. Viruses are being very small. They can be used in drug delivery systems also. Viruses can be used as a vectors also, right? So along, yes, they cause number of diseases, but then we can manipulate them for the some useful purposes also, right? There are some viruses, for example, I exactly don't know this, some virus which infect cherry, I guess cherry. So it increases the size of the cherry fruits, right? So that is the beneficial part in that, that fruit ka jo size hai, it increase that. So similarly, there are some other cases also where benefits of the viruses infection have been reported, right? So in our bodies, bacteria inhabit the human digestive system. They are on our skin. They contribute to energy metabolism, digestion, brain function, right? But if the balance of this bacteria is tipped off by a dose of antibiotic or ill health, then gut discomfort or skin infections, they become very common, right? So bacterial infections, they have started major pandemics. If we talk about the history, for example, plague was caused by a bacteria, or a bubonic plague, which killed about 50 to 60% of the population of Europe during the Black Death in the 14th century. So this was a major disease, or a major disease which infected a lot of people and a lot of deaths. Number of people died due to this disease, right? Then if you talk about the reproduction, they reproduce by binary fission. Then their short generation times allow mutation to emerge and accumulate rapidly and cause that leads to significant changes in bacteria. So this is also the reason for developing resistance to the antibiotics. Then what are the viruses? This was about bacteria. Viruses are again, they are, their genome is made up of a DNA or RNA. They are very small. They have a protein coat, right? And some viruses are enveloped. That is, they have a lipid or a fat layer. Then there are different sizes or the shapes also. For example, they are filamentous, they are spirals, they could be the rod shaped viruses also, right? There are isometric viruses also. Then viruses that are enveloped with a layer of a fat, for example, SARS-CoV-2, which causes COVID-19, can be more readily killed by simple hand washing because soap disrupts this fatty layer. So that is why it is recommended in case of a COVID-19 that frequent hand washing should be done in order to avoid the infection from the viruses. Now, viruses can't reproduce on their own, like unlike bacteria, so they are, in that way they are not considered living. But yes, they can multiply and they can replicate if they find a suitable living host, right? Then they can cause flu, or the number of diseases are caused by the viruses. Number types of influenza viruses are the viruses which leads to some reported epidemic and pandemic in the history are being recorded due to the influenza viruses. There are many other viruses also. Zika hai, Ebola hai, they could be HIV viruses, number of viruses, hepatitis B, C viruses, number of viruses which smallpox, polio hai, number of viruses which cause disease in humans. Similarly, number of viruses infecting plant could be, no plant is there, I mean, on which we don't, if we say that if we want to name any plant for on which virus is not reported to, there are very less. Yes, there are some medicinal plant on which some viruses are not reported, but otherwise there is no plant, whether it's ornamental or a vegetable or a fruit or a forestry, where viruses are not being reported, right? So viruses can infect bacteria also. Viruses, it can infect plant also, they can infect animals also, they can infect humans also, right? And viruses can also jump from from some animals to the humans also. So those diseases are called as zoonotic diseases, zoonotic viruses, which can move from animals to the humans also. For example, influenza, right? There's a bird flu or a swine flu which originated in birds and a pig, but then they managed to infect the humans also. Then SARS-CoV-2 is a virus whose reservoir host is supposed to be bats, fruit bats basically, but then now they are found in the humans also, right? Then if we talk about simple life cycle, it is entry of the virus into the host cell, then it replicates its genome, then it produces a new viral particle, then assembly of those viral protein into new viruses, and then release from the host cell, either by the killing the cell or budding of the host cell membrane, which infect further new cells, right? So if we talk about viruses and bacteria, viruses are not considered living because they cannot be, they are, they do not reproduce, they multiply basically, right? Bacteria are living organisms. Viruses only grow and reproduce inside host cells. They can multiply, not outside there. So because of that, they don't have any metabolic activity of their own like others have, so they are not considered living by. And bacteria are living because they have a single cell, they can generate energy, make its own food, reproduce. So these are the criteria of a living person, living things or a living person. So bacteria do that. Viruses are a submicroscopic, bacteria are a bigger as compared to the viruses. Yes, they are also microscopic. Viral infection is systemic. Viruses infect host cell and then multiply by the thousands, leaving the host cell infecting other cells. Bacterial infection is usually confined to a part of the body and described as a localized infection. And infections may be caused by bacteria or by the toxins which are produced by the bacteria. Then systemic diseases caused by viral infections are influenza, measles, polio, AIDS, and COVID-19. Bacterial disease are pneumonia, tuberculosis, tetanus, or a food poisoning, which are the common diseases caused by the bacteria. Then bacterial and viral infections, they have many things in common. For example, both are caused by bacteria and viruses, microbes, and they are spread by coughing and sneezing. They can contact, in fact, with infected people, or these could be the sexually transmitted diseases also. Contact with the contaminated surfaces, food and water. Then contact with infected creatures, including pets, livestock, insects, fleas, and ticks. So these are the common points between them. Then microbes can also cause acute infections, which are not, which are short-lived, not very long. We call it infection called chronic infections, are those infections which affect humans throughout for a longer period of a time. But then the infections which are caused by bacteria and viruses are short-lived, and they can be managed by vaccines or other therapeutics which are readily available for many pathogens, right? Okay, so throughout the history, we discussed bubonic plague, bacteria and viruses both have uh, impacted humans equally, and a number of people have died due to the pandemics or epidemics which are being caused. Could be due to the bubonic plague, or due to the smallpox, or due to the Spanish flu, we can say, right? So number of people died due to both viruses and bacterial infections. Then symptoms, when we talk about, yes, they could be common symptoms: coughing, sneezing, fever, vomiting, diarrhea. So that's why when sometimes we have a sneezing or we have a common cold, so we usually go to the doctor, and doctor just say that okay, we'll not prescribe any antibiotic because it could be the viral infections, and viral infections cannot be managed by antibiotics, right? We know that. So yes, it could be a bacterial infection also and a viral infection also, and depending upon which pathogen is causing, treatment is being given differently for both the pathogens. So although bacteria and viruses are too small, if we talk about differences to be seen without a microscope, but then they are as different as giraffe and a goldfish. So size difference is a lot there. Bacteria are relatively complex single-celled creature with rigid cell wall and a thin membrane surrounding the fluid inside the cell. They can reproduce on their own, and fossilized records show that bacteria have existed for 3.5 billion years ago. Also, they were there, right? Whereas viruses are even smaller than the bacteria. The largest of them are smaller than the smallest of bacteria, right? They have a protein coat, they have a genetic material which is made up of RNA or DNA. Unlike bacteria, they cannot survive without host. Bacteria can survive in the soil, bacteria can survive in the artificial media, they can survive, right? But viruses cannot. Then, okay, other thing, diagnosis, if we talk about diagnosis, sometimes it is difficult to determine whether illness is viral or bacterial, because pneumonia, meningitis, and diarrhea can be caused by both. But then some physical examination and testing is being done, blood testing is being done, which can give this information that whether the causal organism is bacteria or virus. Treatment, the discovery of antibiotics for bacterial infection is very important, and it's a major breakthrough. And but yes, we know that antibiotics, we certain bacteria are resistant to antibiotics, and this is also because of the extensive use of antibiotics. Or sometimes we take antibiotics without even doctor's prescription. So that is because we are extensively using. Sometimes for a normal infection, we don't require antibiotics. It takes maybe a week time and it will go away without antibiotic. But still, if we feel like certain even if small pain in a throat, or just sneezing, or maybe small very less fever also, we without even consulting, we these days people consult those medical shops or pharma shops more as compared to the doctors for these diseases, these common diseases basically. So this is the reason that the pathogens, they are becoming antibiotic resistant. And then we don't, because doctors know exact dose which is being required by us, right? The dose could be different for a different group of people and a different age group. So doctors know that exactly what dose is being required. But yes, when we are taking this on our own, we don't see that maybe for 5 days or maybe for 2 days, and after 2 days the symptoms actually start vanishing, though the pathogen is there inside our body. So these are the reason due to which they become more and more resistant to a particular antibiotics that we are popping up without doctor's prescription. And this is somewhere is this is somewhere we are at loss, because we are more and more of antibiotics are like they are not useful anymore for certain kind of a bacteria, and new to identify newer antibiotics is not an easy task, right? So definitely somewhere we are at loss, that now we have a less antibiotics available which can be used for a bacterial infection. Sometimes doctors, they give us a cocktail of antibiotics also to manage bacterial infections, because when symptoms are similar in a bacterial and a viral infections, even if we have viral infections, just a moment, give me 1 second. Okay. So what happens when we pop up antibiotics like that? Because for viral infections, we don't need antibiotics, but symptoms are similar. So for viral infections also, we are popping up antibiotics, right? So these habits are actually not right. So antibiotics are not effective against viruses, and many leading organizations recommend against using antibiotics unless there is a clear evidence of a bacterial infection. Then vaccines have drastically reduced the number of cases of viral disease. So when we talk about the management part here, so vaccines and some antiviral drugs are available which can be used, right? So vaccines can prevent infections such as flu, hepatitis A, B, and human papillomaviruses and other viral infections. Okay. Uh, okay. Let's just start. Then diseases caused by the fungi, right? So many pathogenic fungi, they are parasitic in humans and they cause number of diseases in humans, plants, and animals. Usually the fungi, they enter the human body through a wound in the epidermis or the skin, right? So such wounds may be insect punctured or accidentally inflicted scratches or cuts. So one example of a fungus that causes disease in humans is Claviceps purpurea, the cause of ergotism. It is a disease that was prevalent in northern Europe in the Middle Ages, particularly in the region of a high rye bread consumption. So ये rye को infect करता है pathogen. Basically, this pathogen infect the rye, right? And from there, if we consume these infected rye for any kind of food purposes we are consuming, so we also get the infection because of this, right? Other diseases could be athlete's foot, ringworm, or a yeast. Candida albicans is a normal inhabitant of a human mouth, throat, and colon, and sometimes it can cause a disease also, right? Then these are the common diseases caused by the fungi. Then there are a number of diseases which are caused by fungal disease in plants also. White blister or a white rust in a brassicas, right? This downy mildews, powdery mildews, bean anthracnose, Alternaria septoria. Thousands of diseases are being caused by fungi in the plant. Pythium species, Fusarium wilts and rot, right? Many diseases are being caused. Rusts, um, different types of yellow rust, brown rust, black rust, which is being caused. Then Alternaria and a number of diseases, right, are caused. See, late blight, ring spot, black lag, Alternaria leaf spot, gummy leaf, Cercospora. So many diseases, right? So management, if we talk about, can be treated, bacterial disease can be managed by antibiotics. We can do immunization is also available for many bacterial diseases. Then plant bacterial diseases can be managed by chemical applications, body mixtures, or certain antibiotic sprays can be used for the treatment here. Then, okay, insect control will help to eliminate vectors, right? Because vectors cause wound in the plant from which the fungus and bacteria and a fungal infection can viral infection also they enter through the wound site, so that can take place. So insect control, if we can do that, can be helpful here. Biological control is also available. Some antagonistic or biological control products are available, or botanical, some plant products are available. Then fungal diseases, antifungal medications, and good sanitation and personal hygiene is being recommended here. And integrated disease management, cultural, chemical, and biological. So all sort of management practices are available, which can be done for the management of these diseases, right? So this was our I guess first or second lecture after the introductory lecture that we did. What are the differences between the bacteria, fungus, and viruses? How viruses differ from the other pathogen? So and a common management, how we can do the management for the different kind of the pathogen. So if there's any question or anything, you can just ask your questions here. नहीं सब आता है okay. So okay, who will tell me what is the major difference between virus and bacteria? See, when we'll do the revision revision. We are moving stepwise for a revision. So you also start studying and come to the classes prepared so that we can have a discussion sort of things. Yes. So what is major difference between virus and bacteria? Who will tell me? Yes, Manaswani.
Ma'am, like I think every difference between them is quite major. So one is that bacteria can exist independently outside of a host, whereas viruses are said to be active only when they are within a host. There are also several differences between structure, and in some cases, there's also a difference between the genetic material that is present, like viruses may have RNA while bacteria may have DNA. So, based on different properties, there are major differences.
Yeah, okay, fine. Good, Manaswani. Yes, so who will tell me what is difference between gram positive and a gram negative bacteria? No, not Manaswani every time. Others, please. Devanshi, yes, go.
Ma'am, gram-positive bacteria, they have thick peptidoglycan layer and no
Mm.
outer lipid membrane. Whereas if we talk about gram-negative, they have a thin peptidoglycan layer and they also have an outer lipid membrane.
Devanshi, right? So, my next question is that how do we identify bacterial, fungal, and viral infections? Okay, let's go like this. What are symptoms? Tell me what are symptoms?
Ma'am, for viral infection,
No, common, just a symptom. Tell me what is
yeah,
symptom.
the common symptoms which has been observed they can be fever, chills, fatigue, of course, sore throat, and weakness,
Mhm. Okay, but
like that.
I mean to ask the definition of a symptom. What is the definition of a symptom? Yes, Devanshi.
And symptoms can be said as the signs which have been emerged after a viral or a bacterial or some kind of disease which is caused in a particular individual.
Yes. See, so symptoms are the visible signs or visible changes could be in a plants, animals, or a humans which are caused due to any infection. So these symptoms could be externally visible symptoms. For example, when we talk about the plants, this could be externally visible symptoms such as yellowing or yellowing हो गया आपका, it's browning in case of a fungal spots, or it could be your stunting, mosaic, mottle. I mean, there are leaf curling, leaf vein bending. So these are the externally visible symptoms. Then there are certain internal symptoms also, or histologic symptoms which are being produced by the pathogen in the plant. And plants also in humans also. For example, in viruses, inclusion bodies are being formed in the plants also, right? So those we can identify those inclusion bodies by a microscope, and that also gives an indication about the presence of a particular pathogen or a virus in a plant, right? So symptoms are the visible changes or some changes which are being induced or by the pathogen in their host, right? It could be, for example, as the Yuvraj told, it could be your headache, it could be fever, it could be flu-like symptoms, it could be pain in a stomach somewhere, right? So any change, any change than the normal functioning of the body. For example, you don't feel good, right? And sometimes you say that I don't feel good. There's something. Maybe I have a headache, or maybe I don't feel like eating or something, right? So those are the symptoms. It could be due to some of the pathogen infection, right? Okay. So my next question is that. Just a moment. So my next question is that can we grow viruses in artificial media? If not, why? Devanshi, you raised your hand. Want to answer?
Ma'am, my hand is down.
मेरे को तो वो रेज ही नजर आ रहा था. Okay, any other student? So why can't we grow this virus in artificial media? Tell me. एक जैसे हम nutrient, we make a nutrient agar media for a bacteria. We need a PDA, potato dextrose agar media for a fungus.
Ma'am,
Then we should have some kind. Yuvraj, no, not you, other students.
Because they need
Ma'am.
living cells.
Yes, Namrita, they need a living host to multiply. They cannot multiply. Yes, Vivek, you have something to add?
No, ma'am, I was just gonna say that because even though viruses, they'll have DNA or RNA, but they don't have any like ribosomes. They don't have ribosomes,
Yes,
and they
they
don't have
don't have any
organelles.
machinery of their own, so that they cannot make anything,
Right.
right?
Right.
They cannot do
They don't
that.
have the necessary organelles to make proteins. So
Proteins,
that's why
right?
it's not possible to. I mean, it's like it's not possible to make more of themselves without a living host.
Yes, right. That's right. That's very appropriate answer, Vivek. So my next question is that can you name can someone name some viral diseases caused in plants? Humans तो आपको पता ही होंगे, I'm sure. Can you name some
Yes.
viral diseases caused? Yes.
Ma'am, TMV.
Hmm. TMV is it tobacco mosaic virus?
Yellow
Yes,
leaf
Namrita.
curl virus.
सी येलो लीफ कर्ल बहुत सारे वायरस हो गए, तो या तो आपको टोमेटो येलो लीफ कर्ल वायरस बोलना पड़ेगा,
Yes,
राइट?
ma'am, I
बिकॉज
said
ऑफ टोमेटो में
tomato
कॉज.
yellow.
Potato
यस,
virus.
टोमेटो. पोटैटो वायरस एक्स, पोटैटो वायरस वाई, पोटैटो लीफ रोल वायरस. पोटैटो वायरस नहीं होगा सिर्फ.
Ma'am,
हाँ जी,
cucumber.
कौन सा वायरस?
Cucumber
mosaic virus.
Yes.
Cucumber mosaic.
Yes, CMV, cucumber mosaic virus is a very common virus. Tomato leaf curl virus, Prunus necrotic ring spot virus, apple mosaic virus, citrus tristiza virus. We have apple stem pitting, apple stem grooving. We have tomato leaf curl. We have a cotton leaf curl. We have a tomato number of viruses we have which are infected. Tobacco mosaic virus, yes, is the first virus which was studied and which was identified, which was isolated. So yes, the tobacco mosaic virus or TMV is the first name that comes to our mind when we talk about the viruses, right? But since this should be for the beginners, right? Those students who have not studied virology as a course. So those students who have studied virology as a course, I think they should take name of some other viruses also, because टीएमबी जब आप बोलते हो तो ऐसा लगता है बस आपको टीएमबी पता है वायरस का, you don't know anything any other virus, right? So when you have studied a proper course on viruses, then definitely you should take name of other viruses which are actually causing losses in the plant and they are actually harmful to the plant, right? Yes. So who will tell me the useful aspect of viruses, or let's take it other way, that how we have somehow managed to use viruses in a positive way.
And to understand the life cycle of a virus and how to treat them and how to prevent them to spread in a large amount.
No, Yuvraj, you didn't get my question. I mean to say, not the diseases caused by the viruses, or in that way. How we have used viruses in for some other purposes, right? Not to understand the life cycle or something. Yes, Vivek.
Ma'am, I think the simplest example would be how we've used viruses against several diseases like polio, measles, we had chickenpox. We used
Yes.
live but weak viruses to
Vaccination, we are using
as a
viruses.
part of the vaccination. We've used viruses in cancer prevention and control. We've used it in
Yes.
agriculture. We used it. I mean, this kind of, and this is not like a good thing, but I mean, people also could potentially use it in any biological warfare. I mean,
Yeah, they are being
we've
used there also.
seen several different uses of it.
Yes, they are negatively also as a biological warfare. Smallpox was one such virus which was being used at that time also in a biological warfare. Yes, but yes, if you talk about the uses of viruses, they are, since in plants they cause a lot of variegation or some yellowing or some striped patterns. So we have they can be used for ornamental purposes. We can develop some hedges. We can develop some. For example, tulip breaking virus used to cause some striping. That is, tulips were earlier they were of a single color, pink, white, or whatever. But due to the virus, they were showing a two color, white color and a mixture, right? They were mosaic pattern or a variegated pattern. So that was more appreciated by the people and they liked those tulips basically, right? So yes, they can be used in that way also. And viruses are used as a vectors also. Viruses can be used in a drug delivery systems also for the treatment of other diseases such as cancers or any other diseases. As vehicles they can be used. So yes, there are certain positive points where we can use viruses for our own benefit other than the diseases they are actually causing in humans or the plants, right? Okay, so who will tell me the uses of bacteria, beneficial effects of bacteria?
And it can be used as a biofertilizer in agriculture practically.
Yes, they can be used as a biofertilizers. That's right. Yes, any other?
Ma'am, they are
Ma'am,
used in food products.
Yes, they can be
yes.
used in a food products, right? And then, okay, who will tell me the fungus, use of fungus? Other students, जिन्होंने अभी तक answers नहीं किया, please, I'm not taking names. Okay, I'll take names now. Yes, Sahiba. Are you there, Sahiba? Yes, Sahiba, are you there or not? Anyone else?
Yeah.
Tanvi?
Ma'am, fungi can be used to produce citric acids, or it can be used for pest control or for antibiotics.
Okay, Shakti, anything else?
Yes, ma'am. It is also there. It is used in the production of penicillin, antibiotic.
Yeah, antibiotics. Yes, they can be used for antibiotics. Yes. Okay, Devanshi, do you have something to add?
Ma'am, same point of Shakti.
Same
Ma'am,
point of Shakti. ठीक है?
example,
So
yeast
students,
can
this
be
is
used in bread.
yeah, they can be used for fermentation and other industries. They all are used here, right? Wine production and all those things they are being used here everywhere. Okay, so students, please, this is not a revision class for me, but this is a revision class for you all, right? So prepare, right? अभी मैं तो lecture दे रही हूँ उसके बाद तो मुझे आंसर चाहिए आपसे कम से कम उससे पहले नहीं अगर so I want you all to participate in the revision classes also, right? So okay, so that was about next like session next topic we'll take in the next class, no problem. And then this was about the viruses, bacteria, and fungi. All are pathogens, all are causing diseases equally in humans and the plants and animals. And there are separate management technique for all the pathogens also. There could be some similarities, yes, but yes, for example, vaccines are used for animals, these fungal pathogens also, bacteria, and these are used for the viral pathogens also. So there are certain common points, but yes, the management is important in all the cases. The viruses are more tricky, we can say, because they are very small. I mean, we cannot see them even under the microscope. They are very small. They multiply very fast, and the viruses or RNA viruses especially they evolve very fast, right? The number of mutations or number of different strains that we get of, for example, influenza viruses. Every year we get a different strain. Dengue viruses, there are different strains there, right? So when they have different strains, the management becomes a little tricky because if we develop a vaccine against one strain, then the other strain will be there. But nowadays, the techniques are there where a cocktail of vaccines can be developed. For example, we can develop a vaccine against a 3 or 4 strain of the viruses also, pathogen also. So that technique has come up and it is being used. Dengue viruses के लिए भी the vaccine is being developed and it's under development. If I'm not wrong, the people are trying to use this technique where they are going for a cocktail kind of a vaccine production. Yes. So yes, management is tricky or could be tricky, but then there are a number of factors which are contributed by us humans, like we are contributing. Good sanitation and good hygiene practices are very important for any kind of pathogen, whether it's a fungal, viral, or a bacterial infection. So first thing doctor always says is always this thing, like you should be careful, we should be washing our hand, we should be not be touching our eyes, nose, and face with our hands. Washing hands before eating food, washing hands before when we are coming home, we are visiting any place outside and we are coming home, right? And then this corona has taught us the sanitation also, right? We do a lot of hand washing and hand sanitization these days. We keep our hands clean because we know this virus is spread. And not only this virus, there are many pathogens and many viruses and many other pathogens. They spread by our hygiene or a not so good hygiene practices. So it is always emphasis is always being laid that we should follow good sanitation and good hygiene practices. We should keep our location clean. We should keep our area clean. We should keep our houses clean. We should keep our classrooms, labs, everything clean, right? Because the clutter or the these things they always invite pathogens somewhere. The pathogens, they are always clean water, clean drinking water. There are a number of pathogen, cholera and other diseases which are spread through the water which are not very clean, right? So emphasis is being laid on these practices, and these practices definitely reduce the chances that we'll get infected by it, because many times we get infected by these practices only. So this definitely reduce the chances of the infection, right? Okay, students, so that's all for today. I'll take your attendance now. Please switch on your cameras for the attendance. Yes, can we have yes, Tanvi and Shakti, you're raising your hand. You asking something? Want to ask something?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Adhish Mishra. Adhish, are you there? Athoiba. Ayush.
Present, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, Adhish, you're there. Athoiba. Ayushi. Yeah, Ayushi is there. Sam.
Present, ma'am.
Sam. Devanshi.
Present, ma'am.
Ishita.
Present, ma'am.
Manaswani. Namrata.
Present, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm present. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Namrata.
Present, ma'am.
Nandini.
Present, ma'am.
Nehal.
Present, ma'am.
Rupal.
Present, ma'am.
Sahiba.
Present, ma'am.
Sanjana.
Present, ma'am.
Shivani. Shivani is there. Tanvi.
Present.
Ridir. Vivek. Vivek.
Present, ma'am.
Yukta.
Present, ma'am.
Yuvraj.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, so we have some students missing, right? We don't have. Anyways, okay, I'll download the attendance, no problem. Okay, students, so you all can leave the meeting. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.